6 blocks away. I'm here probably 4 or 5 times a week.
It's raw. It's not like a cookie cutter skate park in the suburbs, you know?
It's like a gift from God.
I got my first board in 1988, and I probably really didn't start skating until probably about 91 or 92. I started Galaxie Skate Shop in, I believe, October of 2007.
I started going to the Galaxie Skate Shop probably when I was about 8th grade. I was their like first customer. I started going there like every day. Probably annoying the shit out of Gary in high school, and they just started eventually letting me work there because I'm not going to just go away.
I started going to Galaxie about a year after it opened. Andrew Martin was the shop owner. He was really a nice guy. He was cool to everyone.
I'm in my 6th year as mayor, and I've been on the city commission for the last 27 years, first elected in 1988.
Jerry he was really worried about me even opening the skate shop. He was my landlord at the shop, and he was incredibly worried about the kinds of people that would come in. Everybody was. The kinds of kids that are associated with skateboarding, the kind of just philosophy and ideas. People think skateboarders are punks for the most part.
Oh yes, I did. I used to skate. It's been a while. I guess they were like clay wheels, okay? And you'd go downhill and you hit a little pebble, all right? And you went that away with it. But, you know, a politician never says no, so there'll probably be a chance somewhere down the road if somebody, you know, pushes me enough, I'll probably get back on the skateboard and give it a shot.
And when he started to see kids come in, and they were really mild-mannered. They were, you know, Brendan used to help Jerry's mom with her groceries, and used to go in. They're just really well-mannered people. We're just normal people.
Prior to the skate park ever being thought of, we had, you know, a lot of, I would like to call them freelancers. They were all over the city. And they really didn't have a place they could call home.
When I first started skating in Newport, there was really nothing to skate besides like flat ground, you know, or just some random spots I could always picked out of. Then high school came down here and it was just covered in dirt.
It used to be like this old batting cage for the high school next door. So he sweeped it all off and shit like that. 6-7 years ago, we started putting parking blocks down here and like cones and pieces of wood, and we just built our own ramps until it worked.
It was more that we were just looking for a place to skate. Nobody had really done anything as far as building-wise. I'd never poured any concrete in my entire life or anything like that, and there was just this place, so we just started going at it, and it just started building.
I mean, people were already skating flat ground there anyway. So it was covered and it was a nice smooth surface. So they were already skating there just wasn't any obstacles.
It's like a weird, empty space, you know, like no one else was doing anything with it.
All the funding came from the shop, 100%. It was mostly the kids and the patrons, just people who came in.
Andrew started taking over the shop, and we started buying concrete and building. And we built the big box first, and then just went from there.
You know, it's a lot easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. If you just have a few obstacles, there's really no reason. Like if they tear it down, worst case scenario, your obstacles get torn down, you go somewhere else, you go skate something else. Jerry was absolutely fantastic in the way that he supported us.
They picked this area out underneath I-471 bridge, and Andrew was good about that. He wanted to make sure everything was all right at City Hall.
The first thing that was built here under the bridge was was the ledge. The reason why we chose the ledge is because the ledge is skatable in a million different ways. Your creativity is the only thing that holds you back from a ledge. You can, I mean, it's a square box, but really you can skate it however you want to.
First thing, best thing, stays that way. If anything goes, it won't be the box. There was a Galaxie skate shop stalled out contest here in 2008, and I made an edit for Low Card magazine.
Come over and look at the bracket and see who you're going up against. If it grinds at all, if it slides at all, it does not count. No slop either. You call the trick before you go up and do it. No going up there and just making it up as you go. That's ridiculous. We all know it.
And that's when like the whole bridge thing kind of took off, I think, when people started coming here and building stuff.
As I remember it, just the box in the middle of the park being there, the quarter pipe that was vert with the pool coping.
Yeah, the steep quarter pipe is actually 4 feet tall with a foot of vert. And the reason why we did that was because so that bikes couldn't really ride on it. It was my first attempt at building concrete coping, so it wasn't super hard. The density of it was super good, so I was afraid the pegs were going to destroy it. So that was why we made it really steep. And it kind of turned out to be like the inside of a pool, which is why it was painted that way.
The early days of the bridge there was a lot of vandalism. We'd build something, people would smash it up, kind of a lot of disrespect. The kids that are there now weren't as old, they didn't really watch out for the bridge as much as they do now. They hold it down there now.
We actually, me, Max White, Brendan Barton, Matt Swachter, and a couple other people, we camped out a few nights because people kept breaking things before the concrete was settled, so we camped out after we built it.
It was like 3 in the morning, and like we woke up to like 3 bikers like there were probably even more than 3. We were like, what are we about to do? We're about to just like go and kick them out right now, like 3 in the morning. We're like asleep on the mini ramp, and we like walk over there, and they got pissed. They were like, are you kidding me? It's like 3 in the morning. Like, what are you guys doing here? Like, yeah, you guys can't ride here. Like, there's no bikes. And that was like really the last we saw of like the bikers.
In 2010, at that point I had 2 kids, and I had gotten everything out of the shop that I had intended to get out of it in the first place, why I opened the whole shop in the first place. It was picking up steam, people were coming in, it was a good time to hopefully hand it off to somebody that would be able to do a lot more with it than I would be able to do with it. Anybody who knows me at that time, I was real stressed out and crazy at that time. I was actually ready to close the shop on New Year's Day. I've known Gary for a long time, and I knew it was something he was trying to do for a very long time, was open up a shop in Northern Kentucky. It was always something he was interested in, so I thought he'd be the perfect match for it. And he wasn't ready for it at the time, and then right in the last hour he came in, and the rest is history.
They were one of my main retailers of instrument, so it kind of just went together perfectly.
Definitely getting hooked up from instrument made me want to be more part of the skate community, and to be a part of that alone, I'm definitely way hyped to be a part of anything with skating around here. I'm stoked to be about.
I got on instrument whenever Can't Stop the Shine came out. I got on, and it's definitely helped me. Super thankful. Gary's done everything he can for me. It's kind of an honor to be able to skate for a local company like that.
It's like when Gary came into play, like, he got way more money for us. We were able to do a lot more, so we had more resources.
We were always involved with what was going on at the bridge before, helping Andrew, and we had a program where we were instrument boards. We were donating $2 per board. I mean, these builds aren't terribly expensive. What's expensive is the labor, and we got guys who do the labor for free. So, it's just materials. I mean, each obstacle, you know, is definitely, you know, $300 to $500, or if it's really big, it's $1,000. But like, you know, with the amount of guys we got coming together, like it's not hard to get that money, you know. There's not really, we don't have like a list, like we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. We don't have any of that. It's basically whoever gets motivated, and you know, if the idea basically passes the council, so to speak, you know, it gets built.
Everybody decides. It's a group effort on what gets built. And usually Gary's just like, all right, we're building today. We just start building it.
I don't know, that's the great thing about it. There's a lot of variety. It's really weird. There's a lot of weirdness to it. There's a lot of character to it. That's what you get when you get hand-poured items. You get personality in every single obstacle. And it's all, at any given time, everything changes. It's all about flexibility, and it's all about just coming in and being adaptable to your surroundings.
We never had a water source, and you know, to mix concrete, you gotta have a lot of water. So we would always have buckets, and we would go down to the creek, and it's so low, but we would try to get as much water in there as possible, and then try to like walk up the steep hill and just slip and just like eat shit with a bunch of water just like going in your face and your mouth. It's pretty rough.
By far the most difficult thing to make, I think, I'd say probably the quarter pipe, the mellow 7-foot quarter. It took almost 10 hours of pouring, and concrete sets, so you have a certain time limit to it. It's a really difficult situation where you have to pour it in layers. We actually had to cut the top off of it and then re-pour the top 6 inches before we added the coping on top of it just to fix whatever issues we had.
And while we were doing the big quarter, at the back, we put in the flat bar.
That flat bar was actually made by a guy who didn't even skate. He's a welder who tore down his basketball hoop at his house and decided he thought it would make a good flat bar, so he welded it like that and then just brought it here and dropped it off one night when we were skating.
And the old man skate league built those like banks, you know, like the 2 banks. I think after that there was the hip and the China bank were done like around the same time. The taco and the 2 little humps, that was about the same time. Those were Derek's idea. Derek really killed it on those.
I knew that they had been building stuff down here, and I just called up high school, and so I wanted to do something. And I had a jackhammer, and there was some old home plates from the batting cage that used to be here. So my first project was busting up one of those and building a hump. Probably the largest project that I was involved in down here was the taco. My whole initial ideal was to just make it all skatable. I just wanted to make it flowy to where you could do lines and kind of have some back and forth.
The taco pocket that we decided we're gonna put the deck on, and we built all the way up against the pillars. You know, the next day we get a call from the guys in the city, the code department. You know,
they made Gary and everyone cut out around the pillars because we couldn't build on the pillars of the bridge.
I mean, it doesn't really bother you like if you're trying to like wall ride up it, but it just looks like shit. So yeah, I was definitely bummed when we had to do that.
And I think that was seriously like one of the hardest things we've done down there, like busting away that concrete. We didn't want to use like a jackhammer because we didn't want to damage the pillar. So we had like 2 hammers and like 2 chisels, and we all just like took turns. Like everyone like did it as long as they could and like passed it off.
I've really become friends with a lot of the skateboarders throughout the city, and we've had a good, I guess, rapport about the skate park.
The skateboarders did a lot of things early on, like when Jerry wanted to have the Monmouth Street decorated, we drove around the element full of corn stalks, and we had skateboarders hanging up, helping the city workers hang up corn stalks to help the city. It was a way that the city could benefit from us and we could benefit from the city, and it's one hand helping the other, and it worked out really well.
They've learned by putting the skate park together and self-policing it. They've learned a sense of responsibility, okay, and work ethic. So, and they're all good things.
Even non-skaters, they love it. Like, they like how you can, like, there's a bunch of people that can congregate at just one place. It just seems like a pretty peaceful place around here, which is really sweet.
We do barbecues, you know, chili cook-offs, just whatever, you know. I don't like throwing necessarily contests, you know. I like throwing jams, you know. So we'll have a DJ out, we eat some chili, skate, whatever, you know. I mean, it's It's more of like a picnic, community picnic style thing versus a skate event or skate contest. Just to kind of everyone come skate if you want, you know. If you don't, hang out, eat food, whatever, you know.
I'm amazed on how many people I see there. I've seen as high as 150, 200 kids down here. And I just think that's awesome.
Well, we always used to have the ramp jams, the Halloween ramp jams. Every Halloween you dress up as like whoever, you know, costume. And we'd always have like a bunch of cook-offs.
We always do like the Go Skate Day, and like we'll do like random barbecues. Really, like anyone can do anything they want down there. Like if you want to go and have an event, or like you want to go with a bunch of friends, throw a party, just keep it under control, make sure everything's cleaned up. You can do whatever you want.
We don't really have a big dumpster or anything down there. We just have a little trash can.
We've definitely covered up graffiti a few times because we've also had threats that the place is going to be torn down if we don't keep the graffiti up. But we've told them ourselves that, you know, it's not the people that actually come down here and skate, but it's people that don't skate that want to hang out here, so they think it's theirs and they just, you know, they'll spray on it, do whatever.
If the city was to come down there and look at it, like I would want them to be like, all right, like this isn't bad. Like this isn't a bad place at all.
There's been a number of articles written about the skate park. And also, I've read a national publication, skateboard publication, and the I-471 bridge there was an entire article about that.
It's probably the most used park in Newport as far as consistency, I'd say.
Yeah, the fact that the park is under the bridge allows you to skate there anytime. You can skate it whenever you want. Rain, snow, it's awesome.
People come from all over the Midwest, like every day. You know, there's crews coming in from everywhere.
We're from like right outside of Detroit. But we have like one D.I.Y, but it's like completely busted now. The weather got to it the last couple of years, and it's like nothing like this, you know. No bridge or nothing, you know, it's just out in the open. Pulled up and it was just sick. Like all the fucking ramps are cool. There's not one bad one. Well, my homie stopped here like last summer. He like filmed a couple tricks on the mini and shit for his video, so we figured we'd stop here because it's right on the way, man. It's like a perfect pit stop. It's really sick.
Documenting skating and making skate videos is important because if it just makes one kid go out there and like, wow, that's cool, and like start doing it or start documenting it as well, like that means more to me than like a million people watching something I make. Cool, like Peter kid too, like now he's like into photography and filming and shit, like that's rad. Like coming from this and like building a skate scene and like now he found that.
I've probably been coming to the bridge for like, I think like 4 years. At first, when I came here, it was just like every once in a while. Then I started coming here all the time. I take photos here a lot. I used to film here. Everything about it is interesting with the dirt in the background and all the people that come too.
I mean, they built this, you know, and like their favorite pros and stuff come and skate the stuff they've built. Like that's fucking awesome.
Garrett Taylor is a fucking monster. He was going way too fast and going way too high.
That's probably the coolest thing, huh, down here, is that huge ollie. I've seen a bunch of pros ski here. Enjoy team, they're pretty cool skating here. I don't know, I think the coolest person to see skate here is Jap though. 'Cause that kid is amazing. He can do anything here.
Kids a place to go without getting arrested and tickets. It helps people out. And then a lot of parents actually come down and they'll sit around and watch, and they get entertainment for the day. It's a nice day, you go do whatever you want. People choose to come here. There's got to be a reason behind it.
where it's at right now, I think it's amazing. Of course, I want to build more. I love building. I love the bridge.
I've been filming with Zach for probably 10 years, you know? And the past, say, year and a half or 2 years is the most motivated, like, in fully on skating I've ever seen him. And it's because of this place, I think. I think that really, like, sparked something in him, you know?
Zach came to me with an idea, you know, that we should do this shop in Northside. I had always wanted to do that anyway. I was going to do that before I even got this Galaxie. Years ago, you know, I had the idea to do that. And it just made sense because we don't really have a retailer in central Cincinnati that, you know, that pushes our brand. I mean, it only made sense to just create that.
You're doing this thing where I'm not clarifying.
I just saw what he does with the instrument, what he does with the shop, with the bridge and everything. And I was just inspired by that.
Grand opening was awesome, man. I mean, I was blown away by how many people came out, actually. I mean, there was 20, 30 people, like, in the store all day, like, for 12 or 14 hours, you know? So it's definitely it's doing better than we expected, for sure.
I think that Gary Collins is he's very business savvy. Okay, he's been very successful, and he's taken what Andrew Martin started to a higher level.
You could be gone tomorrow. Every day, I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form, but every day is basically a blessing. This is something that is here until it's gone. Before it was here, there was skateboarding happening. People went out and they skated. People went out and found parts. People went out and built things. This is nothing new in that respect. When it's gone, we'll find some other spot and we'll build again. Or someone else will build again and we'll go skate that spot and we'll enjoy it and we'll appreciate everything that went into it. It doesn't really matter because eventually it will go on and it will be somewhere else or it'll be here or it'll be wherever.
Hopefully, we'll have a permanent, bigger and better skate park in the future. And it's all because of what's happened down underneath the I-471 bridge.
For a long time, like, the skate scene in the greater Cincinnati area has been like this weird, cliquey divide. And people are, like, super into, like, what skate shop they shop at and, like, care about stuff that don't really matter. But when they put effort into just building something and being a part of one thing, it, like, brings the whole community together. And just, who cares, like, where you shop, who cares who you skate with? Like, you can come here and be a part of this.
When I was a kid, we didn't have any place to skate, so we built a half pipe in our backyard, and, you know, this is just, I think, an extension of that. And I think that's the message, is that you don't really have an excuse if you have an idea. So
I think it's pretty neat how it's progressed. It started with a basic wooden ramp. Now you get all these different concrete obstacles down here, which I think it's wonderful simply because you got all these people together and they use their own money, their own time, their own tools, and they've created this thing and they all enjoy it and they take care of it. So I think it's a pretty neat thing.
I mean, obviously anyone that's been there now can see how far it's progressed. The whole place is almost full and it's gonna keep blossoming, so to speak.
Everyone has something in common when they come here. This little plank of wood can bring so many people together, and then having all these people help out to, like, build something, have little kids come here, like, rather than going out in the street and fucking doing other illegal activities and shit like that.
This is almost like home for them. They're most comfortable here because they can come here and be with their friends and skate and do what they want to do and have fun. Then they go home and they come back. They never want to leave. Most kids don't. I don't. I stay as long as I can.
I think its message is beyond skating. Like, no matter what you do, like, if you get enough people together to do something, you can do whatever you want to do. Like, before, like, this is like what I was saying, like, this is like some empty place that people just drove past and didn't think anything about, you know? And now like, it's used for this, like, and every day there's a bunch of kids here using it, like.
People say, like, when are they gonna do this? Or, like, when are, like, when are they gonna clean this up, or when it's more like, when are you gonna go do it? Like, when are you gonna go and like build something down there, go sweep? Like, it's not just us, it's everyone's. It's there for everyone. Besides bikers, you can't go there.
Andrew believed, Gary believed, and look what it's become, you know, like, I don't know, it's created friendships, it's done everything for the local scene, and I just think that anything can be done if people are willing to do it and put in the time and effort and believe in their scene.
The impact from Andrew Martin starting the shop is immeasurable. I mean, I'm from Covington, a town over, you know, we never had a skate shop really. But as far as like a movement, like Andrew started the movement. Andrew started a movement that created what the bridge is now. There weren't necessarily a lot of skaters around here, you know. No one was like, let's move to Newport. Now kids are moving to Newport to skate the bridge every day. Like, he brought skating to the forefront of a place where it probably never would have been the forefront, you know.
You can sit around and you can ask for things all you want. You can beg for things, you can have committees, you can do whatever you want, but if you go out and you do it yourself, you're gonna get it done. The only person you can rely on is yourself. And if you get a bunch of people who come together and they're all relying on each other, it benefits all of them. This is a community here. It's a community of people who are contributing. It's a very positive influence that's going on. There's nothing negative down here, really. I hope people take that from it. I hope people leave here feeling happy and satisfied. I hope they feel like they can help in their own communities and in this community and everywhere they go.